Okay, so I'm going to do a super quick review and tutorial of Procreate Pocket. It's a really great wee app for drawing if you've, at whatever given time, you've only got your phone. So up the top, you have a few different buttons there. You have your buttons for colour. That is going to bring this up, and yeah, you have any selection that you want. It's pretty great. You've got your palettes. I've never used them. Who got the time for that? I would rather just go to the main circle thing and grab whatever colour I want off of the spectrum. Yeah. So one of the great features of this, which is amazing because it's just like an app, is that you can also do layers on this. Amazing time saver if you are lazy like me. So I've got 3 layers here. What you can do, say for example you like doing portraits or anime drawings or whatever, and you like to do a basic sketch first, you can select one layer and do a really rough sketch on that. Let's change to black. Yeah, you've got your 2 little buttons on the side there that are for size and opacity, which are pretty standard across the board. So yeah, you can do like a really, really, really rough sketch for a portrait on your first layer. Go back, select the next one and do your more tidy-ish or go over the top of it basically and make it all neat and tidy in the way you actually kind of wanted it. I don't really draw portraits that much, but yeah. So basically what I'm doing here is like you can completely hide the layer by unselecting that tick box at the side, or you can just select the layer, choose the eraser, which you can change the size and opacity off as well, and just erase the sketches like I've just done here. And yeah, with the third layer, you can create as many layers as you want, but with the third layer you can use that for your once you're done, small details, highlights, colour, whatever you want. Because in these features, yeah, that's me showing you the opacity and size change. It's just those silly buttons on the side. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah. You can change the opacity of the whole layer as well, apart from just the actual paintbrush. So I'll run through some of the paintbrushes with you. This app is amazing. It's incredible. It has the largest selection of brushes that I have seen in any other app that's just made for just your phone. You have countless categories. You literally just have crystals. That is a brush. Which these are kind of like cheating brushes, I would like to say, because it's just like stamps, sort of. So yeah, here I've got like, oh, that's a crystal cave, and a really bad drawing of, or attempt to draw a little man in his crystal cave. What on earth is that? Delete it, get rid of it. Like I say, I generally just draw landscapes. Yeah, so you have a super, super large selection of brushes here, which you can change and alter, which I'll show you a little bit later. But a lot of them are just kind of like stamps like this. They might become useful if you want to do like a basic shoulders up portrait in your own style, like cartoon, original character, whatever, and you just want like a cool textured background. You got all your elements here, which are really fun and easy to use. and to edit. These ones, I wouldn't really use that much. I mean, you got zombie skin, which I think is more like dragon skin, which is super cool. Should you desire to draw a dragon and want your texture immediately. Yeah, and you've got rough skin and old skin, but I don't see them as being really great brushes because, like you can see here, I know the opacity is really dark, but I don't feel like it really looks like skin. Like, maybe it does to you. But yeah, maybe with the right shading and editing it could look good, but I feel like it's not ideal. I wouldn't use it. We've got all of our kind of super textured ones that are also sort of like stamps, but they're brushes. So yeah, this is the easiest way to draw like a brick wall ever in existence, because it just comes up automatically like that. Not gonna lie, I have used it sometimes in little buildings that I've put into my drawings. But yeah, I'll show you on this one because it's really easy to see. You can change the spacing to make it more dense, make it streamline, jitter it about so it's not all together, and mess around with the fall off. But there's also a reset button at the top, so you can go and put it back to its factory settings, I guess, if you've messed around with it too much and made a mess. Okay, great. What else do we have? I think we should have a go. I'll do a really quick landscape. Sorry. And show you how to put some of these effects into action. So we're just going to grab a round brush. I'm just going to change the size of it a bit. And just go for like a block grey sky. I'm just going to go with kind of grey, a grey tone, black and white sort of picture here. So yeah, I've got my little sky in there. I'm going to change my brush and get something to sort of break it up and give it a bit of texture. But the great thing with this, to undo anything, like you can see me, I'm just scribbling and then it disappears. You just tap the screen twice with 2 fingers. But yeah, you can just like break up that kind of block card sky by doing that. Yep, you got your clouds. Really great and easy way to just print them in there. I feel like it sometimes, no, it doesn't turn out like really well because it does kind of look just like a sticker. But if you spend some time on it, it takes about the same amount of time to draw in these clouds as it does to like just create them by yourself. Yep. So that brush you just saw me select is one of my favourites. It's really textured, and I like to use it for mountains. So here we go. Big old slope in here. We're just gonna go right there. It's cover half of the canvas in pure black. We'll just do that. I'm gonna pop in some highlights, give it a little bit of depth. Just trying to really quickly draw this in so I can start showing you how to change like the opacity of the layers and that sort of stuff. This is me being fidgety and adding extra things in. Gonna move this layer somehow without accidentally grouping the layers. Third time's the charm. And we're gonna go in and colour in that corner. at first I thought, oh, what if we just did like a sea line thing? But then I realised the sky that I just drew would become the sea and this would be the shore, and that didn't really make any sense at all. So after messing around with it, I just decided, whoosh, we've got another mountain. I'm doing this one a little lighter, and I'm gonna shade it in a bit. But a great way of sort of creating depth in very basic any landscape, doesn't matter if it's basic or not, is after you've done the stuff that's like super far away in the background, you can change the opacity of that layer, and it just sort of fades it out and blurs it out and makes it appear more so in the distance, especially if you're trying to get the rugged textured look of a mountain, but still want it to look kind of far away. So yeah, I've just selected that up the top into adjustments. Just go to modify, select the wand, go to adjustments, and then we are swiping along the opacity. Now you can kind of see in the background of that the ink from the sky is kind of leaving a line down the centre of the mountain. So what I'm going to do is just select the sky layer, get my eraser, which you change the opacity and everything just like a brush, and just get rid of these the colour from the sky that was behind that. Going back to that layer, and we're going to go back to adjustments and fade out this one a little bit as well, but it's more so in the foreground, so I'm just going to keep it a little bit darker. Cool. And I'm just going to create a final layer, and this is like a classic Bob Ross realness that is coming on now, where we're going to draw some happy little trees in the foreground, to create some more depth. So it's because we've kind of faded away those mountains a bit, doing a really harsh dark foreground, whatever it might be a house, might be a person standing wistfully on a cliff, or just like some, like you're just emerging from a forest type thing, ready to go gallivanting around the hills. Yeah, we just draw them in there, and yeah, it just kind of adds a wee bit more character to the picture. I mean, this isn't a tutorial on how to draw at all, because I'm in no way an expert, but yeah, the way we've kind of changed the different layers about, I mean, maybe it would have stood out a bit more if it was coloured, but I think this still gets the point across as well. And yeah, we're just going to add a teensy bit of highlight after I mess around with the brushes a bit and decide exactly what texture I'm going to go for. But yeah, layers are a super fun and easy way to mess around with the different aspects of a picture, without messing with other sections that you might have put a lot more effort into, if that makes sense. So now I can see that my sky is kind of blending in a bit too much with the mountains, so I'm just darkening that so it gives more of an evening feel. Yeah, I can see some smudging that's not quite right on the mountain in the foreground, so I'm just gonna darken that up a bit. That's probably sky that was behind that I didn't erase. I could have just gone into the back and erased it, but I did not. I'm just gonna leave it there as it is. And yeah, that's some of the really great features of Procreate Pocket, or Pocket Procreate, whichever way around you want to say it. You can do lots of cool stuff. I mean, you've got your light effects, the luminous stuff, which is really cool. It really brings things out, but it's super strong, so you got to be really delicate with it and make sure you're doing things in the right layer, like I usually am not. Then yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And oops, it's a bit too much. I'm trying to remember which one's for size and which one's for opacity. That will really help you out in the long run. But yeah, definitely send me any questions if you want. We can go over. If you want to see other features explained a little bit more, we can do that. But yeah, in general, I hope this was helpful. If anybody's looking for like a good app on their phone, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Bye.